Shit.
This is how we're starting, huh? Where's,
Uh,
where's the video, Josh? Click the intro. Click the intro.
there,
Chaos.
there it is.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Precisely.
You never know which one you're gonna get.
Not just that, but I just realized the tweet has so many typos.
Oh.
All right. Hello, everyone. We're back. Heartbreak Feels Good. What we watched in January and February. Because we've been busy. We're combining the last 2 months, first 2 months of the year. But yeah, it's been a good first 2 months.
Has it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm Josh Woodbury. Has it? I don't know. Here by the co-host, Edgar Ortega.
Yeah, welcome back. Technically we haven't done one of these for a while, but we did a few episodes in January, so we kind of I feel like we made up for it. But yeah, January, February, there's a lot of stuff, not necessarily good stuff, but there's a lot of stuff to talk about, and one specific okay thing. We'll see. We'll talk
All
about it.
leading up to
It's all right.
the one y'all want to hear about.
Yeah.
A little
The decent
small
one.
indie film. Yeah.
Mhm.
All right,
And
and
joining us-
my other Evan Harris.
You know him.
Glad to be back. Yeah, I'm excited. I was ready for this in I think we were gonna do just January. Then we're like, let's just do February. Then we're like, let's just do all of it. There's been some interesting movies and a lot of TV. I've been really getting on my TV grind this first half of the year, first 2 months of the year. Because at least I think for me, the last couple months of 2023 was all like catching up on movies I haven't seen throughout the year. And I didn't really dive into TV. And this year I'm like, let me just dive into more TV so I can buff up my end of the year rankings. So TV's been kind of mixed, but overall I've been having a good time.
Arguably better than movies, slightly.
I mean, I've only seen 2, but yeah, I did agree with that.
Depends what you're watching, yeah. I watched a terrible TV show. I watched a terrible one.
Glass Airbender.
Can I start off? No, Last Airbender is good, but let me just start off real quick. There's a show that came out the beginning of the year, the first week in January, and I was like, should I watch this? It's on Netflix. I'll give it a try. It has Michelle Yeoh in it, and it's called The Brother's Son. And I'm like, okay. Somebody showed me a clip. They're like, Evan, I think you would like this. You like Warrior from HBO, and I'm like, I love Warrior. It's a great show.
The Brother's Son, it's called.
Yeah.
The Brother's Son.
S-U-N or
S-U-N, yeah.
Funny enough, the only reason why the show exists is because a few of my coworkers worked the premiere.
Oh, that's awesome. So Michelle Yeoh's in it. Cool. Let me see how it is. Kung Fu craziness. Show's not good, Bob. Show's not good. And I gave it the full 8 episodes. I finished the whole series. Some good episodes, some bad. But I think progressively it just got worse and worse. And there was this one character in it, Bruce. And, the short of it all for the summary, there's this Kung Fu empire. The older brother has to move back to San Francisco to protect his mom and his son, who aren't in the Kung Fu, mafia business from Japan. Or from China, sorry. And, he has to protect them. But the mother has been in the game. She knew of the game. She just left. Meanwhile, the son is just an ordinary Chinese kid who has no idea that his parents and his older brother are badasses, or in the mafia, basically, the triads. This younger brother named Bruce, he sucks. He's one of the worst TV characters I have ever seen. Just horrendously bad. He's whiny. He's a little B. I just hated watching him. And my first tweet for the show was like, I think I'll let him cook. Maybe he might have a growth arc or whatever. They tried to make him grow, but he sucks. The actor sucks. He really ruined the show for me. Towards the end, I was just skipping whenever he was on screen. I would just skip it because I couldn't take him seriously at all. He would cry all the time. He was whiny. I hated it. And everything else about the show was pretty just meh and dry and not great. Some of the acting was cool, but otherwise, yeah, really let me down for the first part of the year. So if you're thinking of watching Brother Sun, it didn't get renewed by Netflix, which
Not
is weird.
canceled, right? What is it?
It got canceled. I saw it in the top 10 a lot. I mean, at least in January. I don't know if it's
A
stuck around for
Netflix show
February.
getting canceled, even in this
I know,
economy?
right? What the hell?
Shocker.
And it's so funny because, like, Netflix's spectrum for renewal is fucking awful. We all know this. Because it was like in the top 10 for a long time, but it didn't like reach the heights of the other shows, a la like IPs like Witcher, Stranger Things,
Avatar.
Avatar. I'm just like, okay, wow. Like, granted, I wasn't gonna watch the second season if there was one, anyways. But yeah, it was not a shock for me. But a lot of people in the comments were like, "Oh no, I really liked the show." I'm like, "What show did we watch? The show sucked." Anyways, yeah, bring back Willow. It's not Netflix. It's not Netflix, but it got canceled too. Anyways,
This we want to stay on TV. I watched the first episode of The Curse in November, but then I waited till it all came out to binge the rest in January. So I binged the rest of the season all in one day. What a fucking trip of a show.
how many episodes?
I think 8 or 10.
And in 30 minutes, an hour?
Around an hour, yeah. But yeah, this show's like hugely creative. It's a mind trip. Like it's really unsettling. Some of the most unsettling shit I've seen in years. Nathan Fielder actually has a lot of dramatic talent too as an actor, which is surprising because he's mostly just known for his comedic stuff. But if you watch The Rehearsal, he borders that line of being like terrifying. Then he's absolutely terrifying. And Emma Stone, I mean, what more to say? Me and Evan did it. She's one of the best of all time. She's just as great here. And Vinny Safdie, really, really weird fella in the show.
My question is, this got so much buzz. I really need to watch it, as an Emma Stone fan. Do you think this has any Stonehenge? Do you think this has any Emmy prospects at all? What do you think?
I know she got nominated for something recently. I think it was like a Globe or a SAG from The Curse. I think it might be a bit too weird, but you never know. The Emmys are different than what I know from movie like Academy. They did Mandalorian and they did they do some weird shit sometimes.
John Carlo, best supporting actor.
Yeah. Don Cheadle, best supporting actor.
Exactly.
Wait,
you got guest actor, right? Just for that one scene?
Still
something like that. Yeah, I don't know.
That was weird. That was
like side note, but they didn't even nominate fucking Poker Face barely and get the guest categories when that should have been fucking sweeping.
Yeah, I should have swept like every guest category.
Right, Stephanie Hsu. Come on now.
Yeah.
But yeah, The Curse. I don't know if it has many Emmy. I hope it does because it's like some of the best TV I've seen.
Would it be limited series? Are they continuing it next season or anything like that?
I doubt it. I mean, they could, but
Yeah,
the way it ends, I don't think so.
Okay, cool. Just checking.
Yeah, the ending is the final episode is it has all this praise, but it's warranted. It's one of the best episodes of television I've seen.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah, I need to start watching
it. Yeah, watch that, please.
Yeah, sure will.
Everyone.
So what else? What other TV shows are you guys watching these days?
Edgar.
What did I
do? We got Ted.
Oh yeah,
we talked about.
Oh, they got him.
The cinematic masterpiece that is Seth MacFarlane's Ted.
Should I watch this show?
Yes.
Have you not seen it?
Nah.
Why?
I'm not a huge Ted guy.
I wasn't either, and the show's so much better than the movies.
I saw Ted 2.
It's funny about this show because I rewatched the movies after having finished the show.
Of course you did.
And I don't hate the movies, but I don't love them. They're like fine, they're all right. But something that I found very interesting, like comparing both TV and film formats for this character in this universe, I guess, is how effortlessly cartoony the show is, while the movies are trying too hard to balance the line between being cartoony but also offensive, while the show is just those things naturally.
Exactly. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, I
But
think
yeah.
the movies are like trying to be too hard to be like just edgy comedies, where the show is generally just live action Family Guy. So if you like that, you'll love the show. Even if you don't like it, I think it's even better than
I hate
Family Guy.
Family Guy.
Yeah,
But yeah, I see what you're saying.
I think it's more sincere than Family Guy.
Yeah, I'll say this for me, like one of I don't like Family Guy either. Like I never got the hype, but like seeing the show and contrasted to that, like for some reason the overly offensive, again cartoony setup of the show
Dumb humor
works
basically.
better in live action than it does in animation, and I don't know why. Even look,
I know why. It's the way they fucking
Yeah,
animate Ted.
yeah.
It's so funny.
Well, yeah, that too, but like also the other actors that are barely reacting
Yeah.
and interacting with nothing. Like they're doing such a good job of being these overly expressive performances, which is fun. Again, funny because you can do whatever you want in animation, but for some reason it doesn't work for me there, and it does here.
Okay.
Yeah, and like I think what you were saying with actors, the kid who plays young, I fucking heard it, Johnny, right? Is that his name?
Yeah,
Or
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah,
Is this
he's
a
like
young Mark
generally
Wahlberg?
it is, and he plays it so well,
Oh wow. Okay.
and he has the accent like it's perfect, and the
Georgia.
cousin, yeah, she's incredible. I generally like has really good character work.
Though she's she's so good. Like again, like going back to like these actors having to interact with nothing. That entire episode where she's just her and Ted going around town, and the delivery, every single delivery that she gives is so
It's so good.
it's so on spot. But again, you have to realize she's interacting with nothing, and then she's selling every single line.
Awesome. How many episodes is this?
7, right?
7,
Oh wow,
8?
it's short.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like 20,
They're
30 minutes.
minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's a weekend.
Yeah, I finished it like
it's
in
a
2
day.
days.
Yeah. But like not to be this guy, but like the CG on Ted is generally better than most of the shit we see in Hollywood, which is hilarious. Like, it shouldn't be that good, but it is,
Oh, wow.
and it
Especially
works
for
so
TV.
well.
Yeah.
Got that
Yeah.
Peacock money.
Isn't this like their most watched show, at least of original?
Probably. Yeah. They even called it like their event series, which is funny.
I mean, technically, I know their most popular show is Yellowstone, but I don't think that's an original of them.
That's Paramount.
Yeah,
Paramount Network. Yeah.
no, but I think both of them are running the show. Like
Really?
both, yeah, I think in both platforms the show you can watch it. I think it's like a rights thing. I don't know what.
Yeah, it's
Interesting.
a super weird rights thing.
I know the spin-offs are on Paramount Plus, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
My
I haven't seen
my dad watched all of them. He kept asking me, "What's the Paramount Plus password again?"
It's sad that Taylor Sheridan's gone down that far.
I mean, I heard they're good shows.
I've heard it's just like Republican dad TV.
Yeah, what the hell?
That's what I've heard.
Republican dad TV. What does that even mean?
Yeah. What do you mean? What do you mean? Like, you get it?
No, my dad's not a Republican. I'll tell you that. But I think it's just I can say I think it's dad TV. You know, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of like get off my lawn, etc. Like, I think I know what route you're going for there. But
Yeah.
I mean, my dad and my mom. They watched all the Taylor shows, even that one with Jeremy Renner. What was that called? Mayor of something of Kingstown.
Oh.
Marystown.
The other one.
Did Sheridan also do that show with Nicole Kidman and Zoe Saldana?
Yes, he did.
What?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he
That's
did
a
that
show?
one. They were like military, you know.
Yeah, it's a military show.
overseas. Yeah, it's a military show. Again, I know what Josh is saying.
I haven't seen it, but there, for some reason there was a lot of like posters around Comic-Con last year for it.
Yeah, they marketed the hell out of that show, but I heard
Yeah.
crickets about it. I don't even know if it's good.
Is it
What's it called?
Is it
I have no idea.
Morgan Freeman or Samuel L. Jackson, who is in it? One of them too. I don't
Maybe.
remember.
Oh, that's a good cast. Yeah. That's crazy.
Special
Yeah.
op lioness.
Lioness.
Yeah,
there you
that's
go.
what it was. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Morgan Freeman. Yep.
Okay.
Interesting.
Good
Let's
for
bring it
Dale.
back to good TV and talk about a little spy show.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
what show are we talking about here?
Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Oh, I didn't finish. I'm kidding. I finished.
God. Yeah, plenty of time.
Yeah, I mean, Darren and I, like we do for a lot of shows, like, if we're watching it together, we don't really binge together. We just usually watch like 1 or 2 episodes a day and then just, watch it casually. That's what we did for Avatar. We watched 1 episode a day. But yeah, this show is fantastic. Probably my favorite show of the year so far.
Oh, so far, yeah.
Shogun only has 2 episodes out right now. They're fantastic, but like, Mr. and Mrs. Smith is complete.
I really need to watch Shogun. I haven't started
think
that
of
yet.
It's so good.
It's really
Yeah.
good. It's really good. Yeah. But yeah, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, fantastic TV. What a surprise. One of the bigger TV surprises. It's hard to be surprised by TV, really.
Is it like a surprise since it's Donald Glover and he hasn't really missed?
I think
No.
For me.
I think for me it's a surprise mainly because I didn't really see a lot of like promos for it, and what I saw
That's
didn't
fair,
really
yeah.
look very promising. It looked very not bad, but
Yeah.
like generic.
Yeah, like when the first or final, I forget what it was, but the trailer came out earlier this year. And I'm like, oh, Donald Glover, I'm in. Of course, I've
Trailer
heard of
looked
Donald for a
fine,
long
yeah.
time. The trailer looks fine. I'm like, I'm gonna watch it anyway. It's Donald Glover. But like, I grew up watching the Brad and
Jolie.
Angelina Jolie for years.
I haven't seen that
love
movie.
That's crazy. Nick.
It's fun.
I know. I need
It's
to. I
not
need to.
anything like it's not a
I've seen, like,
masterpiece,
clips
but
on
What are you
TV,
talking
I'm
about,
pretty
Edgar?
sure,
Look at Edgar. with
That's
his,
Doug Lyman, right?
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't know who directed the fuck out of that
So-
movie. No.
Yeah, one
But
of the
I-
good ones that he's done.
Is he a bad director? He's good. He's
Chaos
good.
Walking.
Okay, that was bad.
Yeah,
Um,
he has like some bad stuff. He's a very mixed bag.
Edgar, I hear Doug Lyman.
I didn't
think of
hate
Edgar Rock.
Chaos Walking either. I didn't think it was terrible, but
Oh, it was
Mm.
him, huh? He also did that one COVID movie with Anne Hathaway.
No, wait, no, wait.
what?
Was that him? Was that with Chieto Ejiofor? Was that him?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that
Oh,
movie
I
was
remember.
so
I never
bad.
saw that, but
Oh,
what
it's
was it
bad.
called? Like Lockdown or something.
See, lockdown. Yeah. See, he's a mixed director. But anyway, back to
Yeah.
Mr.
He made
Mrs.
Edge of Tomorrow. He can do whatever the
That's
fuck he
true.
wants.
I need that
Um,
sequel, man.
and American Made. It's really good.
American Made's fantastic. Yeah.
That's Tom Cruise,
Um,
right? I need to watch
yeah.
that.
Hell yeah. Anyway, Bishop and Smith. What I love about the show is how real and genuine it is. Not even from a character standpoint, but from the action. It all feels so natural. Like I'm actually watching these 2 people work with a computer program or person, we don't know, named Hi, and they're doing all these crazy missions. But the missions take a back seat and they get to the core of what people loved about the Brad and Angelina one, which is like the characters, the relationship. And the relationship is so, again, natural and heartfelt and complicated that I loved every single second of it.
It's
Probably
such a
some of the
smart-
best like chemistry I've seen in a while. Like
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
the ending scenes to a couple episodes where it's just them like in the bed or in just talking about the day.
Episode 3
Like,
after the mountain.
so
Oh,
good.
that's
Yeah,
fun.
yeah.
Yeah.
Or on the train. Like, oh my god.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, like I vaguely remember the movie, but I think it's from what I remember, they don't know that they're spies, right? In the movie.
That was the big thing. They had no
Yeah, that was a
idea. They had no idea. They were on 2 different,
yeah.
Spoilers.
Right.
organizations. That's the
Just-
premise of the movie.
But yeah, like having that change to the show where they know from the
know.
get-go, and it's more so a relationship of learning
Trying to
how to
maintain.
trust each other, and like eventually those feelings starts like rising up, and it feels like so genuine that by the time you get to the last episode where spoilers, they're like feeling betrayed and they're like almost essentially trying to kill each other, like you feel it, like you feel the weight of it.
It's crazy, and they nailed the great parts of the Brad and Angelina one, the OG, in that finale, like the way they're fighting each other, their casual conversations, like, "Hey, I almost shot you. Don't do this." Like it was very cute, very cool. So I liked how they paid homage to it, but then they did their own unique spin on everything from the OG movie.
And I thought the ending was really interesting too.
Very
to
strong.
leave it on that note.
Really
yeah.
strong. Yeah.
Honestly, like even if I think they announce a second season? I
they
don't
better
remember.
give me a second. season.
But even if there was no second season, I think this ends. Even though it's kind of like an open ending.
I don't need
for
a
me,
second season.
I'm satisfied with what I watched.
I need a second season.
Like
I need it.
I can't say that anymore because I said that about the bear, and I was
Me
so
too.
fucking
Yeah.
bummed.
I was just about to say that. I was
Yeah.
like, we need another one of the bear. They got the
And
rest.
Bear season 2 is like one of my favorite seasons of television ever made.
Yeah, you've seen it like 20 times, haven't you?
And again, going
So
back to the
good.
relationship and to the ending, that is entire back and forth of like Donald Glover's just like on the floor dying slowly while she's like trying to like keep him awake and deciding if she wants to go out or not. Like again, it's such a really good chemistry between the two of them. And did Donald Glover direct any of these episodes?
I think he directed
one, yeah, maybe the pilot or
I
Wait,
thought
he
he
directed-
I was the first 2 episodes.
I thought he directed the last one.
Could be. But I know like him and his brother did a fantastic job just writing this show.
And they had a writer's room too, which was nice.
Awesome. This show gave me so much hype for if the Lando series ever comes to fruition. You know, they were so excited. Or last year, what?
Never mind.
Yeah, it is a movie. It is a movie.
Is it?
Or,
Okay, yeah.
did I say show? Yeah, it's a movie. And last year they announced that his brother came on board to start like helping to write. And this is my first foray to seeing what the brother could do, and it was freaking fantastic.
Have you not watched Atlanta?
No, I watched part of the first season when it was first airing live. And I never caught up to it or caught up with it.
Interesting. Okay.
I just checked and he directed the last episode, which again, to your point, if he ever gets to do solo and get to direct those action sequences, he's going to nail it.
He's going to nail it. Because again, the action felt so, it's hard to say, like it felt so natural again. It felt so real and not really over the top or cartoonish. It just felt like ordinary people getting into way over their heads with the action. And then some of the action is really well edited. There's a sequence when they have to go kill some guy in Ireland and they go into the barn. It's clip editing. And it was really well done, really dark, but also very intense. Like it was they juggled a lot of different tones throughout the show while maintaining like a very heartfelt, sincere drama. What else? And it didn't get too cartoony either. I think one of my small interesting criticisms or tidbits when they meet the couple who eventually comes back in the finale.
Parker Posey.
Yeah, they felt very weird. I know they're supposed to. They even make a comment about it after they leave. They're like, "What was that whole point about?" Like, remember, you just have to breathe.
That's the scene I was talking about like earlier. Like that scene in the bed is so fucking funny.
It's so cool because they're just like laughing about stuff that even I was just thinking about or talking about. So that's what I love about the show. Like he really puts a real perspective into his dramas, into his show.
The writing is so genuine.
I also love the callbacks that you see in the show of like the three sneezes and that coming back in the finale.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that was perfect. That was fantastic. The comedy was just out of this world. Great comedy. But yeah, and then shout out to Maya as well. Maya, I forget her last name. Erskine.
She's wonderful.
She's amazing. What else did I see her? What else has she been in?
I haven't seen this movie called Plus One. It's this rom-com she's in with Jack Quaid.
It's on Netflix. I've been meaning to watch it forever.
So good.
Yeah.
She's so good in that.
Okay. Yeah, because I heard it's super underrated as a rom-com, and I'm a huge rom-com guy.
Evan, you love that movie.
For me, one of the shows I watched earlier this year from last year is Blue Eye Samurai, and she's the voice actress. She's the lead character in that, and woo! It's one of the best Netflix shows ever.
Really? Tell me a bit about it.
So Blue Eye Samurai.
Is it anime?
It's an anime, and it's about the 1600s, like around the same time that Shogun takes place, and there's this character, and they're out for revenge against the Europeans that are hiding in Japan. They should have all left. Japan declared isolationism. All the Europeans should have left, but there are some still hiding and maintaining a sect of power over Japanese rule, and she is out to kill them for a personal vendetta they did against her. It is fantastic. Great character development, fantastic voice acting from Maya, great world building. The character relationships are genuine, heartfelt, hilarious, and they're just great character relationships. There's a specific dynamic that reminds me a lot of Mulan and Shane that I just loved. And then so yeah, the romance is great. The small tidbits of romance that we get, but the action is just phenomenal, out of this world. Super well directed action, great soundtrack, great set pieces, great production design. This show, guys, it's next level.
How many episodes is it?
8, I think.
Interesting. I might give this a shot. It sounds cool.
Like 45 minutes to an hour. Fantastic. Like, I love Arcane. Arcane is still like the best Netflix show ever. But like, I think Blue Eye Samurai is like up there for me. It's great. And season 2 comes out later this year as well.
Okay.
So yeah. Maya. That was my first introduction to Maya before this show came out. But yeah, she was great. Her and Donald, again, that chemistry is so enticing, so incredible. I think the best part was that like you go from Brad and Angelina Jolie, two of like the hottest people in Hollywood, to these two people in it. They're not like the super gorgeous. I mean, depends what you think. But I just liked how ordinary they felt. It really tied into like this concept of the show about two ordinary people trying to get money, and then chemistry ensues. It was just great. I love this show so much. Other TV shows. Are you guys?
That's it for TV for me. Oh no, I had to tell a little bit about this. I had to watch the first 2 episodes of The Handmaid's Tale for class. Yeah. For like close-ups and stuff. I was surprised by it because it always seemed not that interesting to me. I knew it's like Hulu's big flagship show, right?
Yeah, Hulu.
Yeah. But I was surprised. I think the Elizabeth Moss is really good. Those first 2 episodes. Alexis Bydel, I think is her name. Really interested in that character too.
Yeah, I saw the first season from beginning to end. I don't remember much from it, but I remember liking it. But I think one of the reasons why I didn't continue is because I just heard that the show kind of just like dipped in quality over time. But I don't know. I haven't seen it.
I heard it was more like up and down. But yeah, I see what you're saying. What'd you have to watch the show for, Josh? Do you like pick apart the theme of the first episode or something like that?
Mainly just like just the shot composition and how they like really used close-ups to like show to show just like the oppression, like the mask that she wears, the hood, I guess, like how like kind of like just centers her vision to showing like or shielding her from like the outside world and what's actually going on.
Okay,
for
that's
these
awesome.
handmaids, yeah,
that's really cool. I always like because I know a lot of people just like you two watching all these movies and TV shows like for class. I remember one of my college classes we watched. It was, I forget what it was called, not the anatomy of film, sociology of film. It was, there we go. And we watched movies like what's that one with Oscar Isaac and
Inside Lewis.
No, the AI Alicia Vikander, Ex Machina. Yeah. So we watched movies like Ex Machina and Moon with Sam Norton or Edward Norton. Moon, and like trying to discover like the meaning behind certain like decisions that those characters made. So I'm always fascinated by those kinds of things. But did you guys watch True Detective Night Country?
I did.
Anybody finish that? You finished it, Edgar?
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought it was alright.
I thought it was all right. And for me, it was interesting. Some people calling it the worst thing since sliced bread. Some people calling it the best True Detective season.
I've
For
seen
me,
a lot of divisive shit on this show.
it's very divisive, and I fell down the middle. I eventually gave it a 6 or 7 out of 10. I think for me, the first episode is a really good premiere. It really sets up the supernatural mystery, the setting. The setting is the best part about this show. The setting is like, it's cliche to say, but like the setting is like another character entirely in terms of like how these characters navigate the city of Ennis and how it's affecting them individually. I love that concept. Episode 2 was solid, but 3 and 4 were just bad. They're just it gets into melodrama, and sometimes that's good. They want to expand the cast and like understand these certain character relationships, but certain relationships I just did not care for. Like
The daughter.
What was the point? I don't know. Cooper and his wife, I think that was his name, Cooper or whatever. One of the white guys, his wife and the whole drama there. I'm like, what are we getting at here? The whole relationship with him and his father was kind of a mixed bag for me. So yeah, I was kind of mixed on the character development, which is like the peak reason you watch the show. Outside of the course of mystery, like I want to get invested in the characters so I can get excited for that mystery. And the characters really let me down outside of the 2 main ones.
Yeah. For me, like the show started, I didn't love like the first 2 episodes, but I thought they were good. I thought they were solid. Then it gets a little bit boring in the middle, and then I think it ends very strongly. But
yeah,
I don't know if it deserves the ending because again, like how you're saying, like it kind of jumps around too much, where you don't really focus on like a specific storyline.
yes.
Again, I think the finale, like the twist of the show, is really good, but I don't know if there was enough build up to get there.
Exactly. I feel that because they try to resolve a lot of these character qualms and issues they had with other relationships. They're like, oh, okay, I forgive you, or I understand you now by the finale. And I'm like, was that earned? Was that like resolution earned for these characters? And then, but like you, I really liked the finale. I thought episode 5 ended strong, and then episode 6, the finale, really solved the main murders in a fantastic way.
Yeah.
That really elevated Jodie Foster's character and the other character. I forget her name. She was great. The Navarro's character. Her actress was phenomenal as well.
That's Telly Reese, right?
Sure.
I saw her in a Tribeca movie a couple years ago, Catch the Fair One. A really solid thriller. She was really good in it, so I'm glad she's in bigger stuff now.
That's good. Yeah, I'm happy for her. She was really like the heart of the show, basically. And yeah, the way the murders were solved were really good. It kind of fell into one of my pet peeves, but it also really worked. Like I have a pet peeve when it comes to murder cases. I don't want to say it because it might ruin the show, but like the way they solved it made it work. I understood it, especially because of the setting of the show and what was going on in Ennis. But overall, yeah, it was like a mid show. My dad quit it after episode 2. He was like, "I'm out. I can't do it. It's too slow." But I got him watching Shogun. He likes it. Anyways,
y'all are gonna hate me, but I haven't seen a single episode of True Detective.
Oh, that's crazy.
I mean, you only really have to see the first season.
I know. I needed it to it eventually.
I like season 3 from what I remember, though, like the back and forth between the
but like
flashbacks and
season 2 doesn't
Same
season
way.
2 have Rachel McAdams, so like, I want to watch that one.
Me too. I'm a huge Rachel McAdams fan, but I never watched season 2 because I hear it's just terrible.
I always confused the second season of this to the second season of Fargo because both of them are always regarded as like the worst. But like I remember like
Fargo too.
I remember liking season 2 of Fargo. I think that's the Alien season. I don't remember.
I've still never seen the movie Fargo.
Me neither.
Yeah.
I know. Shit. What's his name?
Martin Freeman.
No.
Ewan McGregor.
Joe Keery is in the new season of Fargo. And I want to watch that.
Joe who?
Joe Carey from Stranger Things.
Oh,
Steve.
Steve, is he gonna die in the finale?
Hopefully.
No.
Hopefully,
Kill somebody.
Nobody's dying. Nobody's dying. Nobody needs to die in this.
kill
dumb show.
fucking Will.
Wow. oh yeah, is he the guy that people hate online now?
He's the
no, that's the other.
he's the Zionist.
No, wait, is it?
No, was it Will?
No.
I thought it was the other one.
It's Will.
Wait, it's Will.
I'm confusing
Yeah.
it with the other guy with Ghostbusters.
They're both.
Me too. Me too.
They're
Edgar.
both Zionists.
Wait, the guy
Also
from
Rick
Ghostbusters
Elman.
is also what?
Oh, Finn
Yeah.
Wolford? No.
Yeah. No, Finn's cool.
We know so far.
So far.
We don't know these people. I don't know. Anyway. What was I saying? But yeah, so True Detective was fine. I love this show,
Avatar.
Masters of the Air on Apple TV.
Oh yeah.
You're gonna hate me, Evan. I've been watching every episode every single week,
You don't like it?
and I think it's solid, but I haven't been hooked.
Oh, interesting. Actually,
This
I'm
is
two episodes behind
And,
now.
and it's funny because early in January, I finally finished a show after it took me like 6 months to finish the show because I kept trying to give it a chance because it just didn't get me until the last 2 or 3 episodes where I'm like, okay, I finally get it.
What show?
Silo.
Whoa! Wait, hold up. Pause.
Wow. Okay.
I loved Silo. Every
I-
episode I loved.
I think it's a fine show until the last 3 episodes where I think it gets great. I think the mystery and like the
Interesting.
pacing like picks up significantly in those
It
last
does-
2-3 episodes.
It does drag. I can't lie. But
It's very repetitive.
But I true. But I also I fell in love.
Evan's like Rebecca Ferguson.
Rebecca, yeah, I love her.
I
know.
mean,
Yeah, she's amazing. But I just fell in love with the world of the Silo, the mystery, her character, the way she was navigating like her position, and the way she was interacting with all those other characters. I was obsessed. I was watching YouTube videos after every episode. I was hooked.
Is it based on
funny.
like a good series or is it original?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a trilogy, right, Edgar? Something like
I
that,
don't
maybe
know.
more.
You're
but-
the biggest fan. I mean, you should know.
I know. The videos I was watching, they said like no book spoilers. I was like, okay, I'm safe to watch it because I hate YouTube videos that are like, oh, in comparison to the books or whatever. Anyways, I heard it's a good series, and season 2 is almost wrapped. I think it's next month. It'll be wrapped filming.
Mhm.
I know Rebecca had to do Dune press, but I think they're back.
How many episodes is it?
10.
8, 10.
I thought it was
Sure.
10.
The finale is awesome.
Yeah.
They're not long.
Again, the last 2.
Look at Edgar. Yeah,
There's so much shit out there.
yeah, there is.
So much
Go back to Masters
content.
of-
Ugh.
Masters of the Air, though, I'm 2 episodes behind. So I didn't watch last week. I didn't watch I didn't watch 2 weeks ago, and I didn't watch last week's, the previous Friday.
Mhm.
This is
'cause I
the
was
Band of
mad.
Brothers like spiritual successor, right?
Yes. Band of Brothers, Pacific. I never watched Pacific. But I should
Haven't
watch
watched Band of Brothers, which is probably
it. That's
good.
crazy, dog. That's crazy. It's good. It's a great show. So yeah, as a history buff, I love this show. I'm very captivated by the characters. Austin Butler is amazing. Barry Keoghan's great. But the real scene stealer for me is the main character.
They're in this?
Yes. What do you mean? Yes.
I didn't know that. That's crazy.
Dude, Edgar, who's the main guy? What's his name? Unmute
What?
yourself.
Austin Butler?
No, the other main character.
I know.
Buck.
it. Dua Lipa's boyfriend. Yeah.
What?
He's going out with Dua Lipa? Callum Turner.
Oh, okay.
He's going out with
Wait,
Dua
really?
Lipa? Wow.
They're together?
I thought
Oh,
so, unless I'm making it up. But
I guess they are. There's a picture on Google. Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I know
Callum
my Dua Lipa
Turner-
lore.
I know. Yeah. I mean, once you guys started like talking about her in the DMs, I was like, I guess I'll look her up. I'd never heard of her. Anyways.
Wait, you've never even heard of her besides that?
Barbie?
Barbie, yeah, maybe that was it.
That was before
Argyle,
Barbie.
the masterpiece Argyle from the Twisted Mind of
We'll get to
Matthew
it. We'll get to it.
We'll get to that. But
Will we?
yeah, Matches of the Air, real quick. Callum Turner, amazing. He's really selling the heart of this show. Something tragic happened, the last time I watched, And the episode after that was really good with him, kind of like spearheading a revenge kind of mission, etc. But I love the combat. The air combat's directed very well. The direction across the board. I don't know who's directing these episodes. I haven't been paying attention to that. But the direction across the board is really good. I love the opening sequence. The music's really good. Again, the characters, the storytelling. I'm captivated by all of it. I'm really just having a great time every week, even though I haven't watched the last 2 weeks. I've been busy with Avatar and stuff too. But
I will say there's one character death early on in the season that I was shocked that they kill him, but I also found it funny how they killed him. It's very like
I know exactly what you're talking about. It's kind of like Norman Osborn in Spider-Man. Oh, it's like it's like whoops.
But let's talk about Avatar so we can move on to movies.
Yeah, have you watched Avatar, Edgar?
I did finish it. Yeah.
Oh wow, I didn't know Edgar was about that life. Okay,
it's fine.
I had a good time with it. Like there's some good and bad, but after every episode, I would do like a 7 paragraph tweet thread about all the things I liked, because Avatar is my favorite show of all time. So I was gonna watch
Alden over here.
Yeah, Alden kind of rubbed off on me. No, I'm kidding. I was gonna do this anyways. But there are some differences from the show from the OG show, the anime, that I really loved. Specifically, I think the best part about this first season is the antagonistic stuff. I love the Zuko and Iroh dynamic. Just like the show, it's peak, it's great. What they added to it, there's a musical note that they added from season 2 into season 1 called Leaves from the Vine. They did a piano version of that during the Pacific flashback that I loved. I think Paul, I forget his last name, but Paul, who plays Iroh, really well done. It's really hard to live up to Iroh. Like Iroh is everybody's fan favorite character besides Zuko and Azula from the main series. They're all fan favorites. Anyways, Azula, my favorite character in the entire Avatar verse is Azula. So I was very interested to see how she was going to be used in season 1 when she only appears in the very last second of season 1 in the anime. They put her all throughout season 1 of the show, and she was really good. I really like the performance from Azula here. It's a different Azula, and people need to get that through their heads, because they're like, what happened to psychotic Azula? She's supposed to be psychotic and crazy. And I agree with you. But I think the route that they're going with Azula is a season 1 Azula who's more schemy. She's locked up in the Fire Nation, and the pent up anger, resentment, competitiveness that she had with Zuko and Ozai was really phenomenal, really well done. And it really adds and elevates her position heading into season 2. So I think Azula stuff really worked. The Ozai stuff was great. The Zuko stuff was great. The Iroh stuff was great. There's a Pacific Zuko and Ozai fight sequence that I didn't really need, but I didn't hate it as much as the internet seems to hate it. I just think less is more. If you know what I'm talking about, it's the Agni Kai, Zuko, and Ozai. In the show, it's blacked out. You see it in muted colors. Ozai humiliates Zuko for speaking out against him, and it cuts to black. In the show, they extend the fight sequence a little bit. They make it a little bit more emotional. Sorry, I don't know what's going on out there. So I actually commend what they're doing with Ozai. People are like, they should have done that with Ozai. What are they doing with Ozai? Ozai is a cartoon villain, performed very well by the great Mark Hamill. But he's a definition of a cartoon villain. There's no depth to Ozai. I think what they're doing so far with Daniel Kim is really good in terms of him playing that competitive nature with his kids. Anyways, the bad stuff, ironically, is going to do with the good characters. I didn't feel like, specifically for me, the Aang and Katara relationship wasn't really developed that well for me.
Everybody seems like they shot their scenes separately. I feel like there's no real chemistry.
Yeah, I guess that's a good point. The acting was definitely not the greatest. but they are just kids. I don't know. It didn't feel as natural, coming off of Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Their chemistry didn't feel natural, even off of another kid show that I loved this year, Percy Jackson. I really liked their chemistry, the trio's chemistry. I thought that was really heartfelt. In this one, I can't really sense their chemistry. And the beauty of the first season was Aang's learning waterbending. He's going to bond with Katara, who's also learning waterbending. My biggest pet peeve with this show, the first season at least, they don't focus on Aang having to
learning anything.
4 elements, which was the main point of Avatar, master of all 4 elements. It's weird. There is a pacing to it. There is or it's bad pacing, but there's an objective to this first season. I got to save the Water Nation, which is brand new. He gets a vision from Homegirl that has to save the Water Nation instead of like the comet. The comet thing was teased at the end of the first season, which was a weird choice. I don't know how it's gonna work out.
Visions. He did visions.
Yeah, he got his visions from
Zana Gaib over here.
Lisan Al-Gaib.
But he gets visions from his Avatar
predecessors.
Predecessors, thank you. Which is interesting. They did an interesting take on giving us Roku, Kyoshi, and Kuruk, the water, earth, and fire avatar before him.
Zan Air Gaib.
Listen, he's not the Messiah. I mean, this guy's going on a totally different arc. But anyways, that whole spirit realm stuff was very interesting. But overall, the good guys, I didn't feel their chemistry. The beauty of the first season was as they're learning waterbending, as they're going throughout these missions, they get a lot of moments to bond. And I didn't feel like Aang bonded with the other two. I got good stuff from Sokka and Katara, but Aang's that family aspect. Towards the finale, they're like, you got to do what you got to do for the ones you love. We're a team. I'm like, I didn't get that team dynamic throughout any of the episodes
because they're never together.
They're never together, and it was all just mission. I didn't get that levity that made them a family. You're not a family by doing a job, by doing a mission. You're a family by going on these crazy missions or not so crazy missions, but at least like those comedic, peaceful moments really made them a family.
Also, like,
and this season didn't get it.
Also, I feel like all 3 of them are missing like personalities. They feel like I don't know.
Yeah, I feel that way because I was watching a lot of the interviews, and I think the Katara actress is really good, really snappy.
They're all great together when they're not in front of
the camera. They're great. They have great chemistry. Exactly. Like they're laughing at each other, making jokes with each other. But in the show, I'm not feeling the acting, and I guess it has to go with the direction. I'm not feeling their acting because, if we can see it outside, we should be able to see it in the show. And yeah, I think the writing and the direction, they're so weird because the good guys were just not meandering because they're doing a specific mission each episode, but I didn't feel their family. In contrast, nearly everything to do with the antagonist really worked for me. I just had a great time with Azula, Zuko, and Iroh, and Zhao. Zhao is a different Zhao than in the show. He is the main antagonist for season 1, but this one is more slimy. He's more underhanded than in the first season. He doesn't interact with Aang that much. He's more so interacting with Zuko and Iroh and Ozai. But I liked his underhanded nature. Is very different. But I liked how slimy and sneezy and overconfident he was. That part was very similar to the anime, of course. But I liked how Zhao played off of Zuko and Iroh. It was very fun to watch. But yeah, I thought the show was good. I think there's room for improvement. I didn't hate it like everybody else, but the bending was really cool. I liked the bending. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I can go off for hours. There's a lot to talk about, but I want to keep it nice and short. Let's dive into movies.
Kick us off with a movie.
Yeah.
Okay, let me open the old Letterboxd. What did I watch? Oh, first thing, I guess. Technically, January 31st, going into the first. I rewatched both of the Kingsman movies before Argyle.
How bad is Kingman 2?
Was it twisty?
Not bad. First movie, obviously great. Golden
Fantastic.
Circle, definitely worse, but it's goofy and pretty fun.
It's
Definitely
terrible.
looks a lot worse. I don't think it's terrible.
It's
Pedro
terrible.
Pascal,
He
great.
shoves a what was it? a spy thing up the girl's butt. It was stupid. I really hate that sequence.
What?
He remember when he's spying, he goes to her tent. and he
Oh,
puts
it's
the
not.
thing
It's
up
not the butt.
Oh well, whatever
Oh,
it was. Was it? He shoved it up her. Oh wow.
Well, it's. I mean, it's just. It's.
It was dumb. Oh, and isn't Kingman Golden Circle the one that killed off the girl from the first movie in the first 5 minutes?
Yeah, that was dumb.
Yeah,
That's
Roxy.
fucking stupid.
dumb.
I hate that. Yeah.
That was
here's
stupid.
my I haven't I don't
It's
hate
fun
this movie
though.
either.
It's a fun movie.
I hated it.
I don't hate it, but here's my biggest pet peeve with it. I think the biggest mistake that they could have ever made with that sequel is bringing Colin Firth back. They should have just focused on Roxy, what did I say,
And Mark
Exy,
Strong.
and Mark Strong. I think Mark Strong is
Yeah.
probably the best part of that movie. And when
Oh,
he
they
goes
kill him
back-
off too
Yeah, they kill
Yeah.
him off too.
He sacrifices himself.
with that stupid Elvis song, whatever that was. Elton John.
Elvis
Country
song.
Road.
Yeah.
Is bad. It's a
Take me
bad scene.
home.
Yeah. He sings it like 3 times in the movie. Really
It's
weird.
awful.
I think it's fun though. The action's fun. Pedro Pascal is just incredible in this movie. Really
He's a-
charismatic. I think we haven't besides this, we haven't seen his Game of Thrones days, like that charisma as much recently. But he shows it off here, and that's cool.
Yeah. Julianne Moore says
Um,
somebody down a meat grinder. That was fun.
She's chaotic. She's like really fucking crazy, but it works for this movie. It's just like a really schlocky spy movie. I liked it.
You want to segue to the obvious?
Argyle. Oof, yeah.
Are we
horrible
skipping the January Beekeeper and Mean Girls? Anybody?
I mean, we could go back to it, but we're talking about the Matthew Vaughn. So
Yeah, we're
Oh,
going
okay.
Matthew Vaughn. Yeah.
not good, Bob.
I lost track.
Argyle, my letterbox review, my one sentence. The hallway scene, great.
I mean, Andrew was talking about that before we came on. We think it's.
I mean, I was
Kinda bad.
talking about the
I
other
loved it.
one, the skating scene. That was bad. That was pretty bad.
Oh yeah.
That was bad. But the colorful smoke hallway scene, I like.
I like the idea.
Yeah.
I don't like the execution.
Yeah.
Fair enough. But that was the only part where I stood up in the movie theater. Not stood up, but I leaned forward.
Matthew Vaughn.
Oh, no.
All hail
Um,
the twisted mind.
Everything else, though, man, this movie is exhausting. It's
so
exhausting to
bad.
follow.
It feels
So
longer
many-
than Dune for some reason.
It really does. I'm like, I don't care about any of the twists. I don't care about any of the character decisions in this movie. It was so just way too much. It's too much of a movie.
Bryan Cranston, blink if you need saving.
I must watch the next chapter. That was that.
My Letterboxd review is basically like there's that scene on the train where it's constantly switching between actors through blinking of eyes, and it's so fucking bad and so annoying. Such a weird choice that they constantly do it through that whole fucking action sequence. It's so repetitive.
Again, another
Josh,
example of a
killed
good
me.
idea, bad execution.
It annoyed me so much.
That
And then
killed
just
me.
went from there.
Yeah. I think the action scenes in the first 2/3, or maybe the whole movie, but specifically the 2/3, Josh, they were so badly edited. I was like, am I watching whose decision was this? I can't keep track of what's happening in the action because you're
How is
cutting
this
every
Matthew
second.
Vaughn?
Yeah, Matthew Vaughn's usually good with action. This one was so nauseating. I was like about to throw up. I'm like,
You want to
can we
know?
just stay on one character?
You want to know who's the editor of this movie?
Who?
He did Interstellar, The Dark Knight, Inception, The
Yo,
Truman
what?
Show, Dunkirk in 1917.
Wow. How did that happen? Well, that's crazy.
Okay. Take the
Wow.
page after this.
I wonder who was working with on those movies. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was the action was nauseating. The twists were nauseating. it was just exhausting to watch. I'm like, I don't care about any of these twists. They even do like the last 10 minutes. They're like, oh, now she's mind control. Stop it! Stop it! Like, it was way too much. I got so annoyed.
Was
Bad
it twisty,
movie.
Evan?
It was too twisty.
Was it twisted?
It was very twisted. Matthew Vaughn, you twisted mind you. Yeah, not great.
Sam Rockwell is good though, at least sort of.
Yeah, Sam's always good. And Bryce and Sam, they're good. They're good
All
people.
right.
Yeah. I mean, they weren't like phoning it in, at least.
I mean,
maybe. Yeah, you never know. So yeah, did not get 5 stars.
No, not even close.
Yeah, I didn't give anything this year above 3.5.
Really?
Yeah. I think my highest one before this, Drive Away Dolls got a 4 from me.
We'll get to it. Before that though, I did get 5 stars to that thing I watched in wait, that was February. Oh, okay.
It doesn't matter.
Whatever. Grounded to Making the Last of Us Part 2.
I never watched
Incredible
it.
documentary. Incredible documentary on my favorite game of all time. Really extensive, really insightful, just about game development, and really interesting how much they put in there about crunch and just how tough it is to make games, especially right now in this industry.
The game
and
industry
it's emotional.
Yeah.
It's rough right now. Yeah.
Somebody made a point how Naughty Dog made Uncharted 1, 2, and 3 all in the span of like 4 to 5 years, and now it takes most AAA games 4 to 5 years for a single game.
And it's not paying off. Like it's not what's the word? Like they can't keep it going like that. What's the word for? I don't know.
It's not consistent. Sustainable.
Sustainable. Yeah, it's not sustainable to have game development like that. Like we've seen just this year, like how many fucking layoffs there are in the industry.
Mm-hmm.
Like every major company is announcing layoffs every day, basically.
It's so interesting. We could do a whole gaming stream about this.
We could, yeah. But yeah, this documentary is really fucking good. Just not even about like even if you haven't, it has spoilers, but like even if you don't really care about games that much, like it's just a good documentary, like as a whole, like in general, it's really good.
Can I log this as one of my 2024 movies? Is that how it works?
I did. It's number 2 for me.
Oh wow!
I
don't usually watch documentaries. I watch one a year, so yeah. I'll catch this because like Dross. Last of Us Part 2 is one of my favorite games of the PS4 era of all time, maybe, and it's fantastic. So yeah, I definitely really want to watch that. So yeah, are we gonna go back to January? What's next?
Yeah. Beekeeper.
Beekeeper. Before I go into Beekeeper and Mean Girls, Chris W made a point how this year is not as strong as the beginning of last year. I think January of last year was surprisingly good. I liked playing a lot. Playing is a very
Megan, yeah.
Megan was very fun.
Cocaine
Bear was a blast. This year we're getting ISS, Mean Girls, Beekeeper. Yes, I saw ISS. It's terrible. But anyways,
Clarence.
I skipped that one.
I watched it. It's not bad. The editing is good.
It seemed like
which one?
See me in streaming. Book of Clarence.
I was like deciding to either watch that or watch Boy and the Heron again, and I went with Boy and the Heron.
Good choice. But Mean Girls, I actually liked Mean Girls a lot. Yeah. Oh wow,
it's all right.
Wow,
I liked it.
Never mind. I'm in the wrong crowd. I mean,
should we do Mean Girls first then?
Yeah. Oh, sorry, you're talking about Beekeeper. Yeah, Mean Girls was good. I actually really liked it.
It's all right.
It's funny because I rewatched the original afterwards and just seeing like how they recycle a lot of the same jokes, but like for some reason they just don't work for me. They work fine. Like I got a laugh out of what's the guy's name? Jackal Spivey. I think that's how you pronounce his name.
Yes.
Him
great.
and Avantika.
Leahy
I think,
Travolta too. Also
yeah.
great.
Oh, she was
Um,
the best part of the movie for me.
Renee Rapp. Not as prevalent as I expected,
Yeah.
but
It's just
still
good,
good.
but yeah. But yeah, like those two for me, the ones that I mentioned early, to me those were the highlights. I think those two are the ones who constantly got a laugh out of me, which I couldn't really say about the rest of the cast. What's the main girl from
And Dowry Rice, I
Yeah.
love her. She's great in Nice Girls. Incredibly
Is that how you say her
miscast here.
miscast?
Incredibly miscast here. Yeah, she's
Yeah.
not doing it here.
And it's weird because she's funny. She's really funny in the Nice
Yeah,
Guys.
Nice
but
Girls. Yeah, or Nice Guys. Yeah.
Nice Girls.
Spin-off. Give me it.
Enough. Hey, it could work. She has a friend in it in the movie. So. But yeah, like some of the musical numbers also, like for some reason they didn't really seem very cinematic, which I mean I guess it might make sense because it's based on a musical, but I don't know. It felt very bland. There's only like one or two that kind of stood out.
I'm actually on the other fence there. I think I liked a lot of the musical numbers here. I think the transitions to the musical numbers weren't great. Some of the editing within the musicals weren't great. I guess that kind of ties into your whole cinematic argument there. But for me, I liked a lot of the musicals. I think the main flaw with this movie is that it really expects you to have seen the original. Because I think a lot of the strong character moments or the character beats that the film tries to achieve is they quickly get to it. But if you haven't seen the original, or even in the context of just a standalone movie, some of the character moments don't feel as earned or as funny or as meaningful as they should be without having that prior knowledge. Like, as a huge fan of the original, I've seen it 1,000 times. I understood it, I got it, but even then, in the context of this movie, it didn't feel as like tight and clean as I wanted to. Again, it feels like they just like, hey, you saw the original, so we don't have to tie or get in too deep into this moment. But again, I think Ali Cavaro, Renee Rapp, and Spivey, like you guys said, were the really big scene stealers for me. I really liked their chemistry. So yeah, I liked it a bit more than you guys, but I had a good time with this. I probably won't see it again, but it was a good time.
I was a little surprised how how well shot it was too. The camera work is pretty dynamic and interesting in most parts. But yeah, it's just kind of forgettable in the end for me.
Yeah.
Honestly, I forgot it came out this year.
Wow.
Yeah.
It was my number. What? It was my number 3 for a long time, or 2 for a long time. There was
My
nothing
number-
else. That was,
It's my
Good.
number 5.
It's
did you have it below Argyle?
it's 10 for me.
Really?
Oh no, it's not worse than Argyle. Come on, Evan.
Yeah, we should. I want to go to see you guys' list now. What do you guys have above?
I did.
I'll
I
give
wanted
you-
to make a change, and I did show it.
I'll give
Did
you a
put
hint.
Dune Part 2 5 times or something.
I'll give you a hint for my worst movie. It's a Netflix movie.
Of course,
Is it Lift?
Yes.
I had fun with Lift. Lift is not
What is this
great.
movie?
It's not the worst movie ever, but it's just so awkward for some reason. I don't
It's
know.
a,
What is this?
it's a Kevin Hart spy movie where he has a squad and they got to steal something from a plane.
Of course, it is.
I watched this with my mom, and we just laughed the whole time. Maybe that's why I kind of enjoyed it. Like, it's one of those movies, if you watch it with friends or with the family, you can kind of like just laugh it off. It's very unserious. It's very like cookie cutter Netflix movie. It's harmless, but it's not good. It's definitely not good. Did I have more fun with watching Lift than ISS? Yes. Did I have more fun watching this than Madam Web? Yes.
No, Madam Web is
yes!
more fun. It's more fun. Come on.
Madam Web is so boring. It's boring.
It's
I'm
boring,
bored.
but it's it's mine.
The third act of Madam Web is fucking hilarious.
That part is funny.
Should we just go to Madam Web now?
Madam
Sure.
Web. Fuck it.
We don't care. We're just chilling, man.
We're going everywhere. Yeah. This movie's boring, guys.
We're
It's
like,
boring.
yeah. It's not boring. It's bad, but it's like laughably bad at most points.
I
That's
don't
fun.
think I've laughed so hard during a movie in a while, not intentionally, as much as I did with this movie with the ADR. Oh my god! Poor
Oh my
man.
god!
Oh, it's so egregious.
What was happening there? Oh my god!
I had to stop myself from like outwardly like laugh. I just have to keep it in, but again, it's just
It was so bad. What Jalen finally like.
Especially with Jahar
elbowed-
Rahim, like most of his lines are ADR. I don't know what
Yeah,
the fuck happened with that.
all of his lines,
Yeah.
were ADR. Because that was the main funny part for me. Because Jalen was like, "Is something wrong with his voice?" And I was thinking the same thing, but I didn't want to say anything. I'm like, "Yeah, they ADR'd all of his lines, every single one." So whenever he spoke, I'm just like dying of laughter. There's one scene where he's getting into a car saying like, "I gotta find those people," and his mouth didn't move, but he's thinking. I'm like, "This is wild! Like this, I've never seen this shit. It was crazy." I'm like, "This is nuts." Homeboy had a dream that 3 random women killed him, so he has to kill.
see how
What
is,
did they? Yeah, I might put this up on my page.
how is this movie boring, Evan?
I'm like, wait, what did you do? Why are they in your house? What is happening? None of it is explained, but he just has to kill them.
It makes no sense.
This is crazy. It was
And
weird.
the fucking Pepsi Cola sign.
Oh my god,
Pepsi
it was
is
teased
so.
to us. It was
Oh,
teased.
it's so bad.
Why did they tease the
product
Pepsi
placement.
Cola sign? The S during her, water Catwoman moment. That was crazy.
Fucking Ben handing her a Pepsi or some shit.
Why didn't she open the Pepsi can? She was just playing with it for like 2 full minutes.
Oh, can we get into how bad of a character this person is? She's not
my
human.
God.
She's not human. Some kid goes up to her like, "Hey, I wanted you to give this. Thank you for saving my mom." And she's like, "What do I do with this?" I'm like, "What? Are you not human? Take the damn picture. Take the damn picture." I'm like, what are you doing?
Here's the thing: is that I think Dakota Johnson fucking tries her hardest to put something into this character, but
I
it's
agree.
fucking
Yeah.
hard.
I agree.
Like she's the best part of the movie easily, just because she's like naturally so charismatic. But like just the writing is so fucking awful in this.
And
So
then
much to work with.
the costumes for the spider tribe
Oh my
with the eyes.
The 30 seconds total of screen time.
Oh my god.
Man, the fucking and playfully or not play, just teasing Peter Parker but never fucking saying the name. Like, what is that? Why?
Just
Why?
say it. Just
Say
say
the
it.
fucking name.
You have the
Don't
rights
say
to these movies for a reason.
it.
The
But I
reveal of
hate it.
Emma Roberts being Peter's mom is fucking hilarious.
That was wild, and the whole party thing was ridiculous. Why is she here? Is she,
So funny.
why was she even here? And then just like, "Hey, what about your?" I forget what the conversation was, but they mentioned her mom. She's like, "Well, my mom died," and everybody's like, "Oh
It's a
shit!"
silence.
And everybody's
And
acting
they're
like
like-
he's like the villain. Like, oh, let's move on from this.
Let's just move on from that. You asked me, motherfucker. Like, it was so weird. It was so weird.
And like, oh, what do you think this baby's name's gonna be?
oh
They
my
don't even
God.
fucking say it.
Yeah, I am actively rising Madam Web up on Letterboxd.
Then when Peter's
It's good,
born, she's
Evan.
like, "Oh, I see the future," or whatever the fuck she says. Like, Ben, like, what's the line? Like, Ben's like, something about, I don't know, fucking know.
Also,
Oh,
I love
I
how
just-
they treat the reveal of Aunt May's name as a mystery for some reason.
I didn't even notice.
Oh,
She
yeah,
li-
he met someone. Oh,
Yeah,
do you think it's serious? Yeah. Oh, I know it is.
I know it is. Like, just say her name.
Uh,
And then
man.
I will say the death scenes are kind of okay. They're all right.
The deaths.
What?
Like the when they get
Yeah,
killed.
like
but
the
not
Final
real.
Destination as type things. Yeah.
I agree. I think the Final Destination concept is
She
still
went
very
full horror with it. Like it just this movie has so many different pieces to it.
I totally agree, Josh. I'm like, if they just stuck with it being a Final Destination Spider-Man kind of movie, we could have got some cool shit. Because the Final Destination aspects were really cool, and the way they kind of figured it into what she has to do, her mission was really cool. But outside of that, the movie kind of flounders, and the chemistry between all three of the young actresses was non-existent.
Oh, horrible.
And I'm like, I
Sweeney's
love.
fine. Isabel Merced's probably the best of the three,
I
but
agree, yeah.
I forget the other actress's name, but I think she's fucking terrible. No offense,
Yeah.
but like
I think
it's probably
the
the
direction-
script, but
it's
and the
script and
direction,
everything.
but like
Yeah,
everything she was given was not good.
it was just full on like one-liners, not like one-liner jokes, but just one-liner like weird.
Rebellious like stereotype.
Yeah, exactly.
Completely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like TikTok of of the girl making impressions of how women are written by male writers.
Yeah.
It's
Honestly,
like,
Exactly. Totally.
Whatever Sony exec wrote this, it was
Also-
it was pretty bad.
again, I don't understand why does Sony keep making these movies. They have the rights to Spider-Man, but for some reason they're afraid of showing the spider people use the web. He never uses the web. You just see him jumping around across the
Stupid.
It was really weird, and
Yeah.
we have to talk about it. But the fact that the three young girls don't get to be their spider personas at all, baffling. Who
And
made it?
it's only in a fucking vision. That's the only time we see them.
Then you
that's
tease
fine.
us at the end like this is some kind of video
And
game.
those
movie?
fucking huge ass glasses.
Like we talk about this in video game movies like Mortal Kombat where there's no tournament in the first movie, or
Oh, and like
it's ridiculous.
they're like, oh, we're a family now. You don't have to worry about your old fucking family. Like, just leave your past families. You have a family now. Like, what the fuck was up with
What?
that?
It was so weird. I'm like, let them be their spider personas. Like,
I understand found family, but that's not how it works.
exactly.
I'm
The whole
moving
family
my Madam Web up as we speak.
it was wild to me. Like I couldn't comprehend what was happening. And yeah, I think you would have to change dramatically the entire purpose of this movie. But there's a really cool like Final Destination movie where she kind of leads or trains these three young girls to be, their spider characters. So they can like develop their powers in the first couple of acts and then actually do something at the end. But these were three main characters. Somehow they're main characters, but they did actively nothing. They did nothing. They have no agency in the movie. They're so reactive to everything that's happening in the movie. They just go where they're supposed to go. They're rebellious. They get stuck at Ben's house. Then they stay in an ambulance towards the end of the movie.
They
get into
decide to go to
factory.
they decide to go to a diner where there's cameras and they know they're gonna be seen by the cameras for some
And they
reason.
dance on the tables for no reason.
Oh, that's
fuck.
me. It's so
That's
bad.
So I was so mad. I'm like, what are you doing? Why are we dancing on tables? Get off the table. What are you in sixth grade? Like my sixth graders would do that. Not you. Like, what was happening?
I mean, I
was
think
so
you're supposed to be in
bad.
high school, but
exactly. What are you doing in high school doing that shit? And
You're trying to
it was-
impress these men over here. Like, what?
Oh, stop it! Stop the count. Yeah, not great, Bob. Not great. Yeah, that wasn't good.
let's move on.
Okay.
Real quick, for me, Beekeeper was great. I had a fun time with Beekeeper. Not great. I shouldn't say great. It's a fun time. It's a fun Jason Statham action movie. It does its purpose really well. And yeah, he kind of like bulldozes his way through every action sequence. There's not any kind of depth or lesson to be had here. It's just pure chaos for 90 minutes or whatever.
I know this is a real thing that happens, like the scamming of older people, but like I'm sorry, I might be a horrible person, but when the lady when the lady killed herself just because she couldn't just click the fucking X on the webpage, it's like I don't
What
know.
the fuck?
Yeah, it
What is
gets
this movie?
it's dark but goofy. I don't know what kind of this tone.
So here's what happens, Josh.
Yeah.
So there's this lady that has like all of this retirement money, and out of nowhere she's just navigating on the internet, and out of nowhere there's like an ad, but it's clearly a scam. But in the ad there's like a number of like, oh, your computer might be suffering from a virus. Call this number and we'll help you, whatever. So she calls the the number, and long story short, they end up like scamming her, and they get all of her money, and as a result she kills herself. But like again,
That makes a lot more sense now that you explain it. Okay.
but it's supposed to be dramatic, but like the way they do it to me it's just like fucking hilarious.
Yeah, I'm like, that was dumb of you. What are you doing?
But yeah, that's the beekeeper. It's fine. It's whatever. I didn't hate it. I thought I had a good time with it. What else?
I tend to go through a bunch of like rewatches I did.
Go for it.
Go for it.
Just real quick. Bunch of my 2023 movies I rewatched just to finalize my list. Poor Things, incredible. Better on the second time. Holdovers. This rewatch really did something for me. Just right time, right mood. Bumped it up to a 5. I love that movie so much now. Barbie. What more is there to say? Are We There, Dogs, Me and Margaret went up my list with these 2 rewatches I did. Fantastic movie. So good. Rachel McAdams, Abby Ryder Fortson, so good.
Mm-hmm.
Asteroid City, rewatched twice also. Wonderful movie. Love it so much. Blu-ray looks great. Rye Lane, first time watching since saw it first time like near a year ago, right?
Peak.
Still great directorial debut. Really stylish, really vibrant, sincere, great movie. Theater Camp, rewatched that also. Jimmy Tatro might be the funniest man alive. That's my Letterboxd review for his rewatch. He's so good. This movie, funny, hilarious, great. Rewatched Guardians and Spider-Verse. Again, great movies.
Peak.
That's it.
Oh, okay. So you watched a lot of 2023 movies. I thought you went back further.
Yeah.
But yeah, 2023, guys, great year.
Yeah. You'll see some bid stuff from us soon about that. Hint.
Oh, I was like, wait, are we doing a ranking of 2023?
We already did, right?
Yeah.
Did
Did we do that?
yeah, we did.
Oh yeah, we did do that. Yeah. What one? Oppenheimer?
No. Oh yeah, I was Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
What was 1 and 2? Was Spider-Verse?
Past
Past
Lives.
Lives too.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, we had Auden, right? And Trey and Jess. Yeah. No, Auden wasn't there. It was just Trey and Jess.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Good time. Like and subscribe.
The only other 2 movies.
Oh, also Dungeons and Dragons. Watch that again. Sorry.
Fantastic!
Really fun movie.
I need to get the Blu-ray for that. I need to get the Blu-ray.
Oh, and I watched Oppenheimer and 70mm once again.
Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer. Just I really took away on that viewing just how good the edit is. Like Jennifer Lame, incredible work. Hope she gets Oscar.
I'll say the last 2 movies for me that are like sort of big that maybe we should talk about are like Drive Away Dolls and Lisa Frankenstein.
Yes. Okay.
I saw Drive Away Dolls. I did not see Lisa Frankenstein.
We can start with the first one.
Drive Away Dolls is fun. I had a lot of fun with this one. It's very slick, very fast paced, fun dialogue, great chemistry. Definition of great chemistry between Margaret and the other actress that I'm blanking on. Her name is
Geraldine.
Geraldine.
I think it's Geraldine. Yeah.
Geraldine, she was great. Their chemistry is great. This movie's gay as hell, and I loved it.
It is gay.
It was crazy. And it didn't overstay its welcome. It's very short, but I had a good time with it.
80-minute movie. We need more of them.
Yeah. It's not only like that it's gay as fuck, but it's also like weird as fuck. Like I didn't expect it for it to be as weird as it is.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what one of the biggest takeaways is. Like, it's so much more trippy, and the editing is crazy in this movie. It's basically just like really basic editing and like transitions, but I think it works for the pulpiness of this movie.
Mm-hmm. To me, this movie kind of falls into the category of movies that nothing significant happens, but it's all
Just
just like vibes. Yeah, like it doesn't need to be more than that. It's just like a modern B gay movie, and it works. It's really good.
Exactly.
Also, I'm still bummed that Margaret Qualley didn't get more attention for awards last year.
We fix that. You'll see eventually if you're watching this, but we fix that.
And
yeah, this movie is really fun.
Yeah, and Lisa Frankenstein, I recently saw it again. Another movie, pure vibes, slightly more plot driven.
It is. I was not expecting this movie to go to the places it does. Like it's a Diablo Cody movie, like through and through. If you love Jennifer's Body, you'll love this movie. It has that same campy like queerness. It's so good. The colors are incredible. The set design is unbelievable at points. The costumes, just this was a big surprise for me. Even though I was excited for it, I just did not think it would be this crazy and interesting and just good as it was.
And also, I liked how what's the word? I guess sincere it is. Like it has like a heart to it, like the main relationship between the two leads. I thought it was really good. I'm blanking on the actress's name.
Catherine Newton. Some of her best work at the time.
Oh, she's great, but I meant like the stepmom.
Carla Giannino from Hill House fame, and
she's not.
Oh wow, she's in this.
Yeah.
Oh shit,
she's not, like she's evil too.
Yeah, she's not even in it for much, but she leaves an impact. She's.
Can I rent it yet?
I think you can. It's on VOD.
$20, I think, unfortunately.
Oh god.
Or you can go the old-fashioned way.
The Jack Sparrow route.
But yeah, this movie's wonderful.
Also, I love how colorful it is. Like
it's
the
so
neon
colorful.
colors just love. I hope they give it a 4K release. It's gonna look good. But yeah, I think that's it for me.
I have a lot of. You watch Marvel movies? Why?
Oh, Josh, you watch Guardians of the Galaxy and Spider-Verse.
It's true.
No, I was watching some of the good ones, guys. I watched the original Guardians. I watched Ant-Man, Civil War.
Ant-Man.
I love Ant-Man. Ant-Man is great. The first one.
Yeah,
it's fine.
What sparked these rewatches though?
Yeah, exactly.
Bridget just started playing Age of Ultron for some reason, and then we just kept watching a few more.
Went from there. All right,
that's
fair.
Civil War, man, these movies.
Civil War is still top 3 Marvel movies.
Like
and MCU, not Marvel.
Yeah. Not to like keep beating the horse or whatever, but like.
Oh, here we go.
No. But like, I miss how these characters used to interact with one another, and the genuine sense of chemistry and tension, and just like those scenes with Steve and Tony arguing.
That third act of Civil War.
It's so good. Yeah. I might just watch Civil War tonight. Fuck, it was my favorite Marvel movie for a long time until Black Panther came out. I think Black Panther and Civil War are still my top 2 MCU movies.
Wow.
Right now, I hate ranking the MCU because there's so fucking many. But Civil War and Black Panther are in a league of their own. They're just peak. Like, you killed my mom. Like that entire. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah,
it's so good. I love Civil War. I'll never forget that experience.
And I will say the IMAX enhanced feature in Disney Plus looks great.
Really good. Yeah, really good. It's kind of the reason you're mentioning, like the whole chemistry aspect, Edgar, with the MCU. Nathan and I always talk about this on My Cup of Tea, but it's like the next Avengers movie needs to be them not fighting this multiversal thing. Just like, I want to see these characters interact with one another.
Yeah,
Like,
and the fact
there's-
that they haven't yet, that's gonna even make it even harder for me to care.
that's the thing, right? Like, there's so many interesting Phase 4 characters like Yelena, Shang-Chi, Hawkeye, Kate, Miss Marvel. So many great Phase
Just
4
give me
characters.
Young Avengers.
Yeah, give me Young Avengers. But even outside of that, it's like I want to see these new, even what's her name? Shuri, like Shuri, and after Shang-Chi, like all these interesting Phase 4 characters. Let's have them interact a la Age of Ultron, the first act of Age of Ultron. Give me something like that where they're just
Party
chilling
scene,
at
yeah.
Tony's house, a party. Then give me some kind of craziness. Like if they would try to force in a multiversal threat in the next Avengers movie before they even become a team, it's like, what are we doing here?
Even the legacy characters, I guess, if you want to call them that, like Ant-Man and Doctor Strange, like we haven't seen them interact. Why should I care?
Or Carol, yeah, Carol interact with like Doctor
Yeah.
Strange or Sam. Like Carol and Sam should be leading this crew, but they hardly interact either. So it's like, why should we care if there's like if they got to fight Kang or something? Yeah, that's just my rant for the MCU's direction. But yeah, what else? Is that it?
I have a lot of classics I watched, mostly due to.
Oh, Josh watched older
Classes?
movies. Oh,
I've seen a lot more older movies than you have, Evan, recently. Don't give me that shit.
you probably okay. Recently, okay. Recently is fair.
Yeah. Give me 1 second. Okay. Starting with
Classics before 2010.
Yes, Evan. Yes, I've seen movies from 1900s.
There we go. Awesome.
This year. Okay. First one. Red Eye. Wes Craven's Red Eye. Watched
I've never
this
seen
the
that.
first
Oh,
time.
wait, you mentioned this. Yes,
Blew
yes.
my fucking mind. This movie is exactly my shit. I'm not to say anything about it because I want to do a commentary on when you guys watch it for the first time on that. It would be incredible.
It is a horror,
great
right?
fucking
Horror
movie.
thriller.
Yeah.
Sweet.
It's Wes Craven. Rachel McAdams, Cillian Murphy. Like it's unreal how good this movie is. I don't know
When
where
did
this
this
movie has been all
movie
my
come
life.
out?
2005.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. I watched Blowout with John Travolta, Brian De Palma's movie. It's
Carson
movie
loves
really
this movie.
fucking good. Really cool premise. The sound editor who was like recording Foley sounds and picks up a car crash, and it goes from there. Really cool. The ending is fucking devastating. The colors in this movie are really cool.
I think this has a Criterion release.
I got the Criterion. Which
Okay, wow,
watched
okay.
it.
Nice.
4K. It's great.
Yeah, I remember years ago, Carson was like, "You guys gotta watch this." So I've
Yeah,
always
he was
been
great.
to watch it. Yeah, that's great. else?
Also on Criterion, I watched The Trial. Orson Welles' The Trial with Anthony Perkins, the main actor from Psycho. This movie is crazy. I'd say it's like there. If you've seen Martin Scorsese's After Hours, it's very similar to this. Just like you're following this man going down like the rabbit hole of this insanity. He's basically put on trial for something he has no idea what happened and what he did. And that first act is just magnetic. It's good. Recommend it.
Wait,
it's
pause.
definitely a water movie. What's up?
What is this called?
The Trial.
Trial.
Orson Welles.
The Trial. I didn't add this to my movies. Josh is, you're backing yourself up. There's a lot of movies that have not even.
Exactly.
The Trial.
The 4K looks wonderful again on this.
What was the one before The Trial? Is it Trial, Red Eye?
Blowout.
Blowout. Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
Continue.
I went on a little bit of a Linklater kit. It was first started with rewatch Setup because I watched Anyone But You, and that movie was kind of bad, so I wanted to watch a good $1 rom-com. And that movie just takes the spot at every watch. And that led into me watching. It's so good. Edgar, you need to watch this movie.
You've seen it, right?
One day.
Oh, I thought you've seen it. Okay. It's whenever somebody mentions like best rom-com ever, I think of Set It Up. But it's not. I don't know if it's the best ever, but it's the one that I always like think about. When
it's that and When Harry Met Sally for me.
Honestly, yeah. Like for me, yeah. You Got Mail. Like yeah. When Harry Met
Can
Sally,
we count sad rom-coms as rom-coms or no?
Count what?
Sad rom-coms as rom-coms?
Hmm.
Like what's the sad one? Like you're thinking of the
Eternal Sunshine.
Eternal. That's a
That's not
drama.
really
It's
rom-com.
a drama.
Yeah, it's a
That's
drama.
That's
It's a
sad.
romance drama.
There's nothing funny about that movie. I cry every time. I'll have you know. Hey, and what's the other one with Donald Gleason and Rachel McAdams?
About Time. That's a rom-com. I'd say.
Is that a rom-com?
Yeah.
It's so sad.
The first two acts, I'd say, at least make it a rom-com.
Yeah, that movie.
It's up there though.
floored
It's so
me.
good.
It floored me. Anyways, yeah.
But yeah, me watching rewatching that led into watching Everybody Wants Some for the first time, also starring Gwen Powell. It's Richard Linklater's basically spiritual successor to Dazed and Confused. Very much just like vibes, like just day in the life of these high school or college students, like just partying, and the atmosphere is great, and it's just so good. It's like one of those movies you just wish never ended.
I didn't know Glenn was in that.
He's in this. Zoe Deutsch also in this.
Oh, hey, I love her. But yeah, I remember seeing trailers for that and being so disinterested in it because it was just like dudes being dudes.
It's so good. It's so good.
Okay.
If you like that shit, then you're gonna love it.
I
love Linklater, so I loved it. Also Linklater, I watched School of Rock for the first time.
Oh, first timer. What'd you think?
First time.
Classic. Yeah.
So good.
Fantastic.
Classic. Yeah. How have I never seen this before? Like, it's one of those movies.
It's so fun, so heartwarming.
The ending is amazing.
Yeah, I love School of Rock.
Jack Black's best. It's great.
I'd actually say Kung Fu Panda. No, you're right. It's his best. It's his best.
Then also watched Up in the Air from Jason Reitman.
This is with Anna Kendrick. This has been on my Netflix watch list for a long time.
It's solid. It's a good watch. A lot more like
it's a drama.
Yeah, it's a drama. It's a lot more like methodical than I was expecting it to be. Very much like contemplative. But it's good.
What do you think about Anna Kendrick's performance? I heard she's stunning.
She's great. Yeah. Not her best, but she's good. What else? For me, probably Simple Favor.
That's a good one. She's great in that. I love.
Speed of Anna Kendrick, we didn't talk about it, but Self-Reliance, also saw that. Jade Johnson's movie that came out this year.
Oh, that's like the first week in January. I think we did talk about that in another stream.
Did we?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, she's the best part of that movie. And,
she's in that? You guys didn't tell me that.
Because she's not in it as much, and she should be the focus of that movie.
Okay.
Honestly.
Anna Kendrick in anything is just great. I am nervous about A Simple Favor 2 that they seem to be wanting to do, but I'll see how it works out.
If it ever happens.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, on a bit of a Scorsese run. New York, New York.
You watched all this in January? What the fuck were you doing?
This is what I watched instead of my new TV, Evan.
Yeah.
New York, New York. Liza Minnelli, Robert De Niro. I think this is my new favorite Scorsese movie. It's just a neo-noir musical. It just balances so much, and it's just like a devastating masterpiece. It's the basically evil twin to La La Land. This is a great way I would put it. Wonderful movie.
Like more than The Departed.
I haven't seen that.
Oh,
yeah. I'm on more to my way through Scorsese. I also watched The King of Comedy. Also,
great movie. I saw
my Letterboxd review. Todd Phillips really thought he did something, ripping this off and completely missing the point.
I think Joker is supposed to be very different from King of Comedy, but also aesthetically similar. I love, because I think in the lead to Joker, because people kept making comparisons to Scorsese's work, I saw King of Comedy and I saw Taxi Driver for the first time in 2019. And yeah, both of those are great movies.
Yeah.
Have you seen Taxi Driver yet? Are you making your way up to that?
That's making my way towards it. Yeah. Cool. Also, I went from that to a newer De Niro, modern classic that I fell in love with. Starring Anne Hathaway. The motherfucking intern. This movie is just wholesome. It is so good. I loved it so much.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've seen bits and pieces on TV. I've never saw the full movie.
Tarantino was so right to say this was the best movie of 2015.
Oh, what? Oh, that's ridiculous.
I don't think that's a bit too far, but I think it's really good.
Tarantino, what are you smoking? Creed, Force Awakens, Mad Max.
Yeah,
Ex
that's a bit
Machina?
too far. But this
Just
movie is
name a
just
few.
really wholesome.
Yeah.
It's like a new guilty pleasure, like comfort watch for me. Just
Okay.
just really good, really wholesome, really fun,
Yeah, I miss good. in
really
that.
emotional too. Like De Niro in this is like genuinely really good.
Yeah.
What
Is he better
else?
in
I
The
watched a bunch
Intern
of,
or Killers.
Maybe Vindered.
I'm weak. That's
I don't know. I don't really have to talk about this too much, but a bunch of like old 19 like early short films like Trip to the Moon or the fucking Lumiere Brothers shot of the train, the movie, a little quick movie of the train that they did.
yeah. I assume you saw it
effective.
in film class.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you guys watch 8.5? What was it called? Is it 8.5?
I'm watching that this week, actually.
Sweet. Good.
Yeah.
That's great.
I did Inarritu's Amores Perros. That was another film class watch with Gail Garcia Bernal. Really, really good. Really sad.
Never heard of it.
A lot of dogs dying. So that's rough, but it's effective.
That's rough, buddy. Yeah.
What else? Laura, Otto Preminger from 1944. This is very much a classic Hollywood movie. Very, very surprised by this one. It's basically this detective who's trying to figure out who murdered this woman, and kind of like falls in love with her while like trying to do the detective work. Then a big twist happens, and it's really fun.
Okay.
I have a lot here.
We still want to talk about Dune. Let's make it quick-ish.
Yeah. We did just save the other stuff. What's it on Dune then?
What?
If you want to do
Sorry.
that, we just go on to Dune Part
Okay.
2.
Dune Part 2. This movie sucks, guys. This movie's
Horrible.
terrible. Horrible. No, this is the first great movie of 2024.
We're
And
so
it might-
back.
We're
We thought
so
we
bad.
were so over, but we're now back.
Everything you've heard us talk about, we're like, it's good, it's fine, it's messy, it's Madam Web. But this Dune Part 2, holy fuck! Like, and I hate when this happens. When he's like, this happened in 2017 when I saw Get Out, and I'm like, is this just going to be the best movie of the year this early on in the year? Maybe, probably until Twisters comes out.
When does that come out? April, right?
July.
July? Oh, okay.
June? I don't know.
What's in April? There's something bit in April.
Monkey
Challengers.
Man.
Monk versus Lizard.
Challengers.
Oh, Monkey Man, right? I forgot about that.
Monkey
And
Man.
Monk versus Lizard. Yeah,
What's Monk versus Lizard? What's that?
Godzilla and Kong.
Godzilla.
Oh.
Kong.
I was like, there a new indie movie coming out? April's looking kind of interesting. But yeah, so Dune Part 2. This, first of all, this elevates the first movie even more. I've seen Part 1 twice now. I saw it on the Sunday before, or the Saturday before Dune Part 2. And then I saw it a couple days ago with my friend. And Part 1 is just so much better in context of Part 2. Paul's character arc, character journey, man, as somebody who didn't read the books, this is full spoilers for Dune Part 2. If you made it this far in the podcast, thank you very much, but this is full spoilers for Dune Part 2. Paul's character journey is tragic. I love a good tragedy. And his character arc is so fascinating and so tragic and so complicated throughout this whole film that I just fell in love with it. And his complicated relationship with Shawnee was so beautiful, so romantic, so sad. Shawnee, played by Zendaya, probably Zendaya's best work, easily. Not even probably. This is easily Zendaya's best work. I
think
her.
she's great here, but I still think she's better in Euphoria. personally.
Oh yeah. I meant
in film, yeah.
Even then, I don't know. I mean, yeah, I don't know. She gets way more to do.
She has a lot more to do in Euphoria, yeah.
But yeah, definitely for her film. But yeah, for me, this is near career best work for like Timothy Zendaya and Austin Butler. I've only seen Austin in a few things. I think this one and Masters of the Air. I did not see Elvis. But Austin Butler was fantastic as Fade. Oh my God, he was amazing. Everything in Guillotine Prime, however you say it.
No, you said it right.
I said it right.
The inky fireworks, man, so cool.
I was losing my mind. Jalen and I had our arms up, freaking out.
Those like freaky little horn
weird little
fellas. Yeah.
Oh my God! Like it was incredible. The world building in this film was impeccable. The whole sequence, when they were walking and the transitions into black and white, my breath was gone. I was floored. What am I watching here? Like the visual language in this movie is next level. Denis is like really like outdoing himself.
Right,
all throughout this movie.
Right from the get go. I first of all, I don't know how I survived watching this movie before everybody else and not being able to talk about it with somebody. But like right from the get go, in the first 10 minutes of the movie, like Denis is just like flexing on a visual standpoint with Greg Fraser. That entire sequence in the desert with the orange like tint, and as the eclipse is passing by, oh my God,
peak, and that's the first 5 minutes. That's unfair. That's crazy. That's nuts.
Again, he's fucking flexing.
It's just unfair how much he fucking stunts on this movie, man. Like,
it's ridiculous. Yeah, like Edgar said, Greg Fraser's cinematography was next level for each set piece, each world, every sequence. I was floored by how he was driving the scene.
Everything is married together so well. Like again, talking about that sequence at the beginning, like the sound design, like that shot, I like that shot of the Harkonnen like soldier like on top of the mountain, just looking out, and you just hear the quick sound of boom, and then he starts falling. Oh my God! Again, amazing stuff. The sound of the bodies falling into the ground, like the sound, like
oh my God!
Oh.
Just the sound design in general, the fucking like pulsing guns and one of the sequences is just so cool and so unique.
Oh yeah, I mean like it's the sound Oscar is already over in March.
yeah.
What
to start? Like, let me just you go.
No, I was just gonna say like, imagine living in a world right now where we had to pick between Oppenheimer and Dune Part 2. That would have been
so
rough. Yeah.
Thank God it didn't happen. Yeah, we lucked out there.
Let me start by just reading my first Letterboxd review for this. Edgar knows out of the theater, I was a fucking like just stunned. Like,
you guys saw this together. Sweet.
Yeah.
Were you guys clapping every other second?
Honestly, I was smiling. I was smiling the whole time, even on my second time.
I was shocked. But yeah,
really great.
This might just be one of the greatest films I've ever seen. Shocking, terrifying, emotional, with an unbelievable sense of scale. Teared up a few times because I just couldn't believe what I was seeing on that screen. Now something this bold could be made in the current blockbuster system. I will never forget seeing this for the first time.
Yeah,
really. Like this movie is just unreal, and that first experience was like. I was just, I wouldn't say it's a lot. I was gobsmacked throughout the whole first viewing and just jaw on the ground. Like, how is this real? How did he fucking make this shit?
Yeah, for anybody who watches this movie for the first time, it must, I know because I felt it. It feels like when the Harkonnens are like floating on the air, just like floating on the air, like as you're seeing the movie unfold.
You're levitating. And yeah, I've had a couple of experiences like, for 2023, I felt the same way watching like Spider-Verse or Oppenheimer. I'm just like, wow, like I'm audibly gasping at a certain sequence. And for this movie, it was like every other scene. I'm just sitting here in awe. Rebecca Ferguson's character is weird as hell, and I loved it. Oh,
terrifying.
She's talking to herself. It's partially comedic, but partially like terrifying and
It's
ominous.
horrifying. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so interesting. I wish I wasn't spoiled by the Anya Taylor-Joy stuff, but
Yeah, they shouldn't have
I feel-
fucking. They should have
I-
kept that close.
They shouldn't have invited her to the premiere.
No.
they always do this. Like, remember Last Jedi? Something happened. Just like I forget.
Frank
something,
Oz.
Frank Oz. Yeah, Frank Oz showed up. We're like, oh,
Yeah.
we seeing Yoda, and it's like, yeah, Yoda showed up. But yeah. But either way, the effectiveness of her character, talking to herself, but like talking to her unborn child, was so fascinating to me. So weird. I really didn't expect that. After seeing part one, I didn't know how they would use that character. But it really works. And then when it starts speaking towards the end of the movie, that was really, like, again, really dark and ominous.
I love that once you see Anya, it just switches every time like we hear her talk. It's her voice now. That's a cool reveal.
So cool.
Yeah.
But
her
visuals
character in the movie are just otherworldly.
In the first movie, Rebecca Ferguson was kind of like stealing the show because she was so like worried for Paul, like in juggling her loyalty to her son versus like her loyalty to the Bene Gesserit.
She had more to do as an actor than Timothy had in the first movie, I think.
Yeah, and then in this movie, the way she juggles and kind of like she's kind of against Paul's wishes in the first half of this movie. He's like, it's not hope. Like that scene where they're like kind of like arguing on opposite ends of how to embark with the Fremen. But then after that switch, when they're on like similar sides, like seeing that switch between their like relationship throughout the movie was very cool for me. The way Paul navigates all his relationships in this movie was very awesome. Like
I think that switch is like what like ultimately just like floored me the most is that narrative, like that tone switch, the council scene. I think is some of the most dreadful filmmaking I've seen in a long time. Just it's so terrifying, and you really like Timothy really fucking sells it so much. I think I've loved everything I've seen him in. Little Women, Call Me by Your Name, Boys and All, Bones and All. But I think this might be his best work yet, which is crazy to say, but
I think so too.
Has so much to do. He has so much complexities. Like just the sheer like innocence you could see on his facial reactions in the third act, like just how the fear in his eyes and his face, like it's just he sells it so fucking much.
Big time. Yeah, you're so right. I think for me before this, I love Little Women so much. I think Little Women might be my favorite of his, even though I think he has more depth in Calling by Your Name. But Little Woman for me was always my favorite. But this movie, holy shit! Like his arc is so profound and so clearly realized. There's a clear way line for his arc, and it's just so tragic. And again, I just love the tragedy of it all. And that entire, like you said, the whole council scene was so bone chilling. The way he kind of maneuvers through all those like followers of his, and that throne room sequence is to die for. That is just cinema at its finest.
That fight is so impressive.
Oh, again, the sound work, it's so visceral.
Yeah.
It's so well done.
No score, just like
it's not clipping like Argyle. It was great.
Yeah. May thy knife chip and shatter.
Oh, dude.
I love how he like tries to do like a Stellan Skarsgård accent too. Like it's so genius.
Yeah.
And also like for other performances that highlights, Javier Bardem fucking surprised me. I did not think he would be that force of like comedic relief as much as he was. Like he's so funny, and he really sells just this like religious like just wants to believe so hard and puts like all of himself into believing Paul.
Yeah,
it's so interesting. He sells it.
I think Javier has a really tricky role with Stilgar because sure, he's the comedic relief and he's trying to communicate how dangerous.
There's that like sincereness there too.
Yeah, and that's where I'm going with. You almost root for him. You want to like be on his side, like hyping Paul up, but like it would be incredibly charismatic if it wasn't terrifying because it's things that we've seen sometimes even in our families that kind of belief, like blind belief on other
Mhm.
people or religion or gods or all of this stuff. And I see that not only in him, but I also see it in characters like we already mentioned, like the Lady Jessica, and you also see it in characters with like Gurney Halleck, all of these characters, which in the first movie you're rooting for, you understand where they're coming from, you want them to win, and they get that in part two, but you don't want them to get that. It
Yeah,
doesn't feel
again,
right.
like that
Yeah.
council scene when Journey like stands up when he like does like I'm Paul of House Trades, when he starts tearing up, you feel that, like you feel that emotion with him. You're also like, oh, this is terrifying. This is not good.
There's
Like there's
almost
Yeah.
so much
there's almost
complexity and not everything.
yeah, there's almost a second where you almost caught yourself hyping up Paul at the same time, and then you're like, oh,
Yeah,
maybe I shouldn't be doing this.
That's the difficult. That's why this movie is a piece of magic. Because any other movie with this large cast of characters, like how do you juggle all of that? But Denis does a great job with perspectives here, like giving us every piece of the perspective to get a full, clear view, and you get to pick like what do you really, how are you supposed to take this arc that Paul is going on here? Because Stilgar shouldn't really work as a comedic slash emotional character. It is not for Shawnee being on the opposite end, and you get to feel the real brunt of what Paul is going through. While Stilgar here is cheering, we get to see Shawnee, and it allows the audience to take a step back and be like, oh wait, she's feeling this way, and especially because the romance has been built up so well, you really feel the heartbreak, and you're like, oh Paul, why are you doing this? Like that's why her character is so important to really
And
ground the audience and understand what Paul's going through isn't great because look what's happening over here.
yeah, and that's another great thing about this adaptation is that one of the reasons why Frank Herbert wrote Messiah, the second book, is because a lot of his readers interpreted the book as Paul being an actual Messiah, being the good guy of the story. So he kind of like made the sequel to deconstruct these and the entire
Oh,
idea of Dune of Paul
that's
Atreides,
interesting.
and and and
is
one of
that
the things
fact?
that and one of the things that that Denis does, the change that he changes so the point is clear in the movie, is having all of these different beliefs within the Fremen. Not all of the Fremen think the same. Again, the best example is Chani. In the book and in the David Lynch movie, she's on board with the whole Paul Atreides being the Messiah thing the whole
Oh,
time, and that's a change here in the movie, in the new movie, but it works so well because again it juxtaposes the themes even
It's
more.
interesting, right?
really? So who's against him in in the books? That's I know it's kind of
Honestly,
spoiler, but
No one.
yeah, no, honestly, nobody, like everybody's like on board with it. Like
It's no one like
maybe
on Arrakis.
maybe Jessica at times, but
Really?
it's most because
Wow.
like she's trying to be like that protective mother while at the same time her herself
That's
like
completely gone away
yeah,
in the
because
movie.
I feel like
no,
Yeah.
in this movie, her motherhood kind of gets like, I mean, she's still a
Ripped
mother
away
because she
from
literally
her.
has a baby, but like her motherhood to Paul is kind of like gets diminished
and
as she becomes a reverend.
and yeah, and another point of the book that is not in the movie that kind of like makes Jessica, Paul, and Chani kind of be on the same page is that so there's like a 5-year time jump between what is part one and part two of the book. And in that time, Aaliyah is born, but also in that time, Paul and Shani have a child, and that child dies
Mhm.
during the Harkonnen attack
Whoa. Okay.
of the
Wow,
palace or
interesting.
whatever. So
Okay.
they kind of have a little bit more of a connection. And at the end of the book, the book ends with Chani and the Lady Jessica having a conversation about their role in the prophecy. It ends on this line like history will people will call us the concubines, like the basically the side pieces, but history will remember us as the wives of the people that actually led to the holy war, essentially. So yeah,
That's
it's a
so fascinating. So now I'm even more curious of like what juicy stuff Shawnee gets to do in Messiah. I'm very curious how that works. Like,
yeah. I'm not gonna say
is
anything
he?
on that.
Yeah. Thank you. But like, is he going to try and get her to that point? I hope not, but I hope maybe. But if she does, like, I'm confident Denis is
But
going to
yeah,
play
for
it
me,
well.
like again, this is
Just not
not.
to interrupt. I do have to go, so we could either you guys
Okay.
continue talking, or we should just pick this up in next month. What should we do?
Uh,
Because we're to
Yeah,
see a bunch of times more.
I'm gonna
in
see it
March
right now
anyways,
tonight.
so we should just
Yeah.
talk about it again in March. I'm down for that.
Yeah, we can halt. We can halt. Edgar, were you finishing up? Did you want to finish up what you were saying?
Yeah, I just want to say,
Yeah, sorry.
without going into spoilers, like something about the change of Chani's characters that excites me for Messiah is that I'm interested how Paul is supposed to get Chani back into his side, essentially, when in the book she's there the whole time. That's something that go for it.
And yeah, like people are sharing the image in the first movie where like they're overlooking Caladan and his. And I'm like, it could just be a thing where it's like, you know, a memory that wasn't really true, like a unreliable narrator, just like in this one where Timothy was killing people in the first one, but it was actually Chani. So you never really know. But anyways, yeah. So Dune Part 2, complex, great.
Part 2 of our Dune Part 2 discussion will be in that special episode. But yeah, Evan, where do people find you?
Find me on Twitter at HarrisEV9. So yeah, I wasn't kidding. I wrote a lot about Avatar and Netflix. If you want to look up my thoughts on Avatar and Netflix, I talked a lot about it. I love talking about it. It's a very interesting conversation. If you don't want to just say, hey, the show sucks, because then I won't talk to you. But regardless, I'm watching a lot of TV. Thank you, Josh. Survivor is back. So I'm watching Survivor every Wednesday. Big Brother Canada is starting back tomorrow, and Amazing Race is next week. So a lot of reality TV and The Traitors US. I'm always talking about The Traitors on Thursdays. So I'm watching a lot of TV and anime. So yeah, follow me for all that stuff.
See, wait, you know how he asked me how I watched all those movies last month? Because I don't watch the fucking shit you do, Evan.
Fair enough. Yeah, makes sense.
Okay, Edgar.
Yeah, you can find me on all social medias at ETG or TEG. You can find some of my written work at Loud and Clear Reviews in the Cinema Spot. I wrote, obviously, a review for Dune Part 2. So if you want to see more of my in-depth thoughts on the characters, you can go read it. And I also wrote a review on the site for Drive Away Dolls. So yeah, you can check those out. And I'm excited for us to release a certain video that took us like almost 3 hours in real time when we were making it. But,
yeah, I'm Josh. Find me at Josh G. Woodbury on Twitter for random thoughts. Find this podcast at WHFG Podcast on Instagram and Twitter. Check out later this week. We'll be unveiling our nominations for the second annual Where Our Bird Feels Good Awards. So that's exciting. Then there'll be a little special video to go along with that, where we decided all those nominations, which I think is a fun watch. And awards will be you had to edit, huh?
Yeah, it was like 2 hours and 20 minutes, and I cut it down to like 150.
Oh yeah, nice.
Edgar, you're a beast. Thank you so much.
Yeah. And the actual awards themselves, they'll happen at some point. We're busy.
Wait, the Oscars are this Sunday, right?
Yep.
It's gonna happen after that.
Okay, no,
and we'll be back here. Yeah. Oscars annual live stream. Third
Who's gonna win $20? I don't know. It's gonna be more than $20. How much was it last year? Like $80?
Yeah, total? who's setting that? Who's setting that
10
up?
each, right? We're doing. I already set it up.
You did?
I
did you link?
Put it in chat again.
Put it in the chat again. I didn't see it.
Should be 15 this year. Yeah.
We're doing. I think we just did the 10.
I just got paid. I'm putting down 100, baby. Let's go.
It's kind of easy though, so I don't know. It's be really tight.
Yeah, it's gonna come between Best Actress.
So yeah, tune in. Watch the Oscars along with us. It'll be a fun time this Sunday, and I'm sure Friday. Me and Evan will be live. Edgar maybe also. To do our. Actually, never mind. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
He said cancel.
We'll figure it out. It's not none of your guys' business if you're watching this. Bye.
Bye. Go watch Dune Part 2 again. 4, 3.